Well, welcome. It is a pleasure for me to welcome you to the Wasatch Choice for 2040 Consortium meeting today. As I was speaking with Andrew Gruber before we got started, today we're together to celebrate the end of the beginning and to begin a bright and prosperous future for the Wasatch Front. This is a celebration of more than 3 years of work by multiple partners. We share a desire to work together to ensure that the Wasatch Front, from Weber, Davis, Salt Lake, and Utah counties, is a thriving metropolitan area that retains a small-town feel and enviable quality of life. Wasatch Choice for 2040 began with the recognition that growth is happening and will change our future, for better or for worse.
As a native Salt Laker and a proud Utahn, I have learned, like many of you, that Utahns don't wait for challenges to eat us whole. Instead, we proactively plan for a better future. It's a concept we call stewardship. We recognize that the future is not a gift, but an achievement, and we take purposeful actions to keep Utah beautiful, prosperous, and neighborly. The Quality Growth Strategy by Envision Utah became our unifying focus. We brought together a diverse collection of stakeholders to examine future alternatives. Working together and based on the values of this community, we created a new conversation. And it has made all the difference. Importantly, we asked the public what they wanted. We settled on 6 goals. Count them with me. Enhance air quality, increase transportation choices, preserve critical lands, conserve water resources, provide housing opportunities, and maximize efficiency in public investment. That visioning process led us to where we are today. And I have to take a little pause to remind you that our incredible region wasn't always like it is today. There was no light rail system. People had never heard of transit-oriented development. Commuter rail was something that existed in New York City. And critical lands were anything that could be developed. That's supposed to be kind of funny. We had no sense of protecting our view sheds, our ridge lines, agricultural lands, and cultural treasures. So let's be perfectly clear. We created the prosperity and life quality we enjoy today through informed and purposeful decision-making guided by Envision Utah.
So why are we here? Why do we keep coming together like this periodically? Well, I think we know. We all know why. It's because we share a love for this place, for Utah. And we have a desire to continue and deepen the wonderful qualities that we love about this place. As Natalie said, we have an incredible quality of life here. Unparalleled natural beauty and access to the outdoors, a strong economy and neighborly communities. I mean, that's what led my family to move here just a few years ago for that quality of life. But as we talk about every time we come together, we cannot take that quality of life for granted. We have to be proactive in dealing with the challenges we face. So some of those challenges, our population, it'll come close to doubling in the decades to come, right? And that's going to have such a huge impact on so many areas of our lives, our economy, our air quality, our mobility, our water. But we're not just growing, right? We're changing as a community and as a state. We're more diverse than we have been in the past, racially, ethnically, religiously, socioeconomically more diverse. So as we look ahead into the future, are our communities going to have housing and transportation choices, access to good jobs, quality education? So it was really in the face of these questions and these issues that we all came together, building on the Quality Growth Strategies work from years ago, to develop the Wasatch Choice for 2040 vision that we've been talking about in meetings like this for some years now. And in order to help make that vision a reality, we began crafting these tools and processes to better equip our local communities, you, us, together, to meet these growth challenges that are coming. But I want to be clear about something. This is not top-down planning. We know that the best solutions come when communities come together. So having all the stakeholders in a community come together with good information to consider options, have their voices heard, and then develop solutions to build a future on their own terms. That's the way that works best. So with that in mind, the Wasatch Choice for 2040 partners that I just talked about developed this process and tools with your input that individual communities can use then to facilitate that conversation and that collaboration. And so this suite of new planning tools has been woven into a model visioning and planning process that we hope proves useful as we all work together to meet our community's challenges. So, after nearly 3 years of work, I'm very happy to announce today that these tools and processes are now available at the new Wasatch Choice for 2040 website.
As Andrew indicated, this has really been a tremendous collaborative effort. It's really been years in the making and a cast of thousands. We've thrown around this term state of the practice, but we mean it. This is a suite of tools and resources that doesn't just have a tremendous amount of value for the communities here in the state of Utah, but it really is being looked upon across the country as representing the very best products that we have delivered as a planning community, really anywhere in the United States. Now, these tools make sense to use anywhere that growth is happening. So, although they were developed under the banner of the Wasatch Choice for 2040, they make sense for any place that's growing. That means Washington County. That means the Cache Valley. That means towns like Fillmore and Richfield. All of these towns can use these, but they have special meaning and value for places that are trying to develop a center. Natalie talked about centers. When we say centers, we mean places that you already know today. We mean places like Bountiful's Main Street. We mean places like downtown Provo. We certainly mean places like downtown Salt Lake City, new communities like the Fireclay District in Murray. So these are places you know that have a lot of benefits. Now, all of these tools and resources can be found at the brand new, oh yes, the brand new Wasatch Choice for 2040 website, which is wasatchchoice2040.com. So let's put your hands together. I always wanted to say that. What does this website mean? It's not just a repository for these tools. It's also training materials. It's some of the data that we've been talking about, much of it. It's ways for you to leave feedback. It's discussion forums and a whole host of information. So it's really a hub for you to use. We'd love to have you attend these trainings, use the website. It's very much a cast of thousands and years in the making, and if nobody uses it, then what's the real value? It's valuable only to the extent that we as a community use these tools.
This has been an incredible joy to be involved in this collaboration. And the University of Utah has gathered together these amazing thinkers about the future of urban areas who've studied all these things going on in the country, and those ideas and the things they've learned from all these databases we've built in these tools. We've had people on the front line as planners helping run these processes, testing the tools. We think you'll find them to be a great aid in everything you're doing. So they are pretty geeky, but there's a class of us who really think that's a great thing.
As you all know, we have a very fast-growing state, and it behooves us to plan for that future growth and to make sure we maintain the quality of life that we have here, which is the envy of the country. and not only maintain it, but maybe even improve it with good, proper, and appropriate planning. As I thought about what I should mention before I make this announcement, I've thought about the history of Utah. You know, there's a scripture in the Old Testament that you all have heard, one that you probably have utilized yourselves, that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. It is important that we have a vision that we see down the road. And for us in elected office, it's got to be past the next election. It really does have to be beyond the next generation and beyond that. If we really are going to do what we've been elected to do, it's imperative that we have a vision. Where there's no vision, the people perish. Brigham Young, I think of the early ancestors of mine and early pioneers that came into this valley. I was just in Illinois and Missouri with a function there, and what a beautiful place that was, and still is today. And it reminded me a little bit of the sacrifice of these early pioneers that left a very beautiful farmland, green and lush, and came as Brigham Young comes to this valley and declares this is the right place. As you recall, he met on his way through Wyoming Jim Bridger, trapper extraordinaire, frontiersman of his time, who met Brigham Young and said with his little flock, he says, "Where are you headed?" "I'm headed to Utah Territory." "Do you know where you're going?" "I don't, but I'll know it when I see it." He claimed to have a vision of what he was supposed to find when he got here. And Jim Bridger said to him famously, "I'd give you $300, Brigham, if you could grow a bushel of corn in the Utah Territory." But those people came, and with a little bit of effort and vision and hard work, rolled up their sleeves and created a garden here in this arid climate, learning how to capture the snow melt, developing irrigation systems, canals, utilizing the streams, good appropriate planning and anticipation of the growth they knew was going to happen. And clearly we see today the results of the efforts of many generations of making this desert blossom as a rose. Well, that's a vision. That's something we all need to have and embrace. And so, again, I congratulate everyone who's done so much to bring over this conference together, but we've been working with Envision Utah, the tools we've had in the past, the new tools we've got today to go forward. But as Robert has indicated, you know, we have still many challenges ahead. The population numbers that we will have in Utah are somewhat staggering, probably daunting in many ways. And you wonder, can we do this and not sacrifice the quality of life? I believe we can. And so this is the announcement part. So I'm pleased to announce today the kicking off of a new initiative called Your Utah, Your Future. This is an independent effort led by Envision Utah and involving many partnerships. When I first was sworn into office, I talked in terms of the opportunity for us to partner together. Unprecedented partnerships, I said, would give us unlimited possibilities. I believe that. I believe we need to work together more and argue less. This independent effort is going to be look at the top issues we're facing in our state today. You can identify many of them yourself. We're going to involve key stakeholders in the public so that we work together in analyzing and dissecting what are the challenges we face going forward and what do we need to do to overcome those challenges and accommodate the growth pressures. As I've mentioned, we will follow proper channels. This will not be a top-down micromanagement coming out of the Salt Lake City Capitol and telling other people how to do things. This will be a bottom-up approach. Local government, local communities, local citizens will give their input on these issues, and that will be the approach we'll take. There's never been an effort of this scale before. Envision Utah was the beginning. This is kind of the next stage here. This is going to span the entire state. We're going to take on a lot of different issues. We've taken on some already. You saw me make an announcement here just a couple of weeks ago about our air quality issues, and we put together called the Clean Air Action Team, CAT, the acronym, designed to bring all stakeholders together to sift through different ideas, no matter what they may be, and then come back to the legislature and to other policymakers, the governor's office, and say, here are recommendations of how we'll deal with the unique air quality challenge that we face here in Utah.